kids, Grandpa here, doing a little live stream from the Georgia, South Carolina line. I'm 31 miles now north of Savannah, Georgia, and got a real late start this morning. Took my time, decided to do some research on some boats before I went anywhere, and it saves me some time because I was not able to find anything in Georgia that I considered worthwhile going and looking at. So, hey Keith, good morning. How are you, sir? Again, I'm driving, so I can't pay too much attention to the chat. I'll try to say hello to a couple people. Hello, Frederick. How are you? If I ignore your comment, please don't get mad at me because I'm driving. I can't watch them all. So hello to everybody. Appreciate you guys being here. We're heading down the highway between South Carolina, and I'm heading down to St. Augustine, Florida right now. There's a couple of boats I'm going to look at in the Jacksonville, Florida area. So I'm heading down there. Had a rough day yesterday with auto repairs. You guys may know that I had to replace the alternator on the truck yesterday morning. Got that done. I bought the key lock for the truck. And then last night the shock absorber on the steering went out, and so every time I'd hit a rough patch of road, my tires would get a lot of vibration through them, so I had to keep stopping and starting and stopping and starting. And I bought a new shock and I went to put it on last night, but I just could not break the bolts loose. No matter what I did, I could not break the bolts loose. So I thought about getting a breaker bar this morning and fixing it that way, and it's a damn good thing I didn't. Guys, I'm sorry, Keith, I saw you put a big comment in there. I just can't read big comments right now while I'm driving. If you would, put it in the comments down below afterwards, and I'll read it when I get stopped. Because the chat, of course, just disappears. But, so anyhow, I was going to get a breaker bar this morning and go ahead and fix it. But I decided to look for a shop just to get, you know, a price on what somebody would charge me to swap out the shock. It's just 2 bolts. It's just 2 bolts. And then I got to thinking, well, I'll get a cutting tool and I'll just cut the bolts off. The one bolt came with the shock. It comes with one replacement bolt. But the bolt on the other side, it didn't come with. And it, of course, has to be, you know, a grade 5 bolt. 1/2-inch bolt. So I called the shop, and the guys were absolutely awesome. I pulled in, I was there for 15 minutes. They took the old shock off, they put the new shock on, and I'm heading down the road again. So, 15 bucks. 15 bucks. I couldn't buy a breaker bar for 15 bucks, I don't think. Not a good one anyway. So, 15 bucks, I just let them go ahead and do it and slap it on there. Now, I really felt vindicated, because when I was trying to replace the shock, I could not get those bolts to budge. I mean, I could not get them to move one bit. And so the young guy got underneath there with his impact wrench, hit it with some PB Blaster or some spray that he had, and was hammering away on it with his impact wrench. And I'll be damned if the bolt didn't just snap in 2. It just broke. So, hot damn, that made me feel good. It wasn't just me, because I was feeling pretty damn weak and dejected after not being able to move that bolt last night. I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, but you know, I'm a real strong guy. I've got some cannons, and so I mean, I'm the kind of guy that twists wrenches, you know. So for that bolt not to come loose was really angering me. Well, it had been so badly rusted. It was original, okay? It's been in there. It's been in that spot since 2001. For 165,000 miles, that bolt has been in place and never been oiled or greased or anything. So he busted it loose, and he busted the front bolt, the one that comes with the shock. That broke too. But we got it off, and he put the new one on, and I'm back in the road. And 15 bucks is awesome. I like doing that. That's very cool. So I am beleaguered and tired. A little depressing looking at those 3 boats yesterday and not being happy with them. There are some other boats that I'm looking forward to looking at that look like they've got some real potential. Some of them do, some of them don't. I'm amazing at some of the prices some people are asking for boats that are just absolute crap. And then there's some boats that are really nice and people really aren't asking very much at all for them. Bolt that break, yeah, absolutely. A bolt that breaks in the shop did me a huge favor. Yeah, because I was in a little roadside rest area last night trying to change that bolt. If that bolt had broken while I was in that roadside rest area, you know, I don't have an inventory of bolts with me, so I would have been screwed. So that worked out perfectly. Just worked out perfectly. So here's the deal. One of my viewers, a really super nice guy, has a boat in St. Augustine, and he contacted me last night and he said, "Hey Grandpa, I see you're heading this way. If you want, you can camp out in my boat for a couple of nights." And they're in St. Augustine, so rather than have to motel it tonight and tomorrow night, I'm just gonna go down to St. Augustine. I think I'm just gonna take a day and breathe. I'm just gonna take a day and not go anywhere. Maybe do some laundry, get my clothes cleaned again. I'm kind of wearing some ratty clothes. But just take a day and breathe, and you know, do some videos from the boat. There's Wi-Fi on the boat. It's in a nice marina. There's a nice restaurant there, he said. So I might just take a day and breathe. Come on, buddy. Give me a break here in the traffic so I can get around this guy. Got a guy doing 60 in a 70-mile-an-hour zone, and it's been a constant flow of cars coming, so I couldn't get up around him. Oh, I see what they're doing. No, I don't see what they're doing. It's just a little Kia driving really slow with an old man behind the wheel. That explains a lot. So, yeah, take a day, you know, recharge the batteries, just rest, not drive anywhere, let Miss Lily relax for a little bit, get out of the damn truck for a bit. And he's got a pretty nice boat, I understand, so it'll just be real pleasant to just relax and hang out and be at a marina on a boat, you know. Awesome. And what a cool thing for this guy to do, you know. What a really cool thing for this guy to do. I mean, that was just really awesome of him to make that boat available to me. And he said 2-3 nights, whatever. He's fine with it. That's just super. You know, there are so many really nice people out there in the world, and I really appreciate it. It warms this old codger's heart to have people go ahead and do stuff like that. Hey, Al. I seen Keith said something. I think Keith's in Georgia here someplace, aren't you, Keith? I don't know if you're en route here. We could Miss Lily's first time on a boat. No, Miss Lily has been on my boats before. She was on my Cal 31 and you know, went out with me for a week at a time. We'd go out in Seward, Alaska, take the boat out and go out for a week at a time and go fishing and sailing around and just, you know, gunk-holing. And so about 75 miles from me. Oh, okay. Oh, it would have been nice to have met you, Keith, if you're along the route somewhere. That would have been cool. But yeah, what a really nice thing for this guy to do, to let me have a place to stay. I thought that was just really awesome of him. So, and it'll give me an opportunity to really concentrate now and focus on picking and choosing boats, calling up some people, and trying to do a little wheeling and dealing. We've already passed where we could. Okay, too bad, Keith. I'm sorry. Well, maybe we'll catch you next time, or hey, maybe we'll see you out there at some anchorage someplace, man. That'd be awesome. Anyhow, I just think it'd be kind of fun. Yeah, gonna just sit back and relax, take a day. I need to do that. Been looking at a lot of nice boats. I have a fella that's offering to rent my farm from me in Alaska. I have it for sale. I'm not really sure I'm comfortable renting it, but you know, the odds of it selling over the winter are pretty slim. The guy wants to rent it because he's a dog musher, so he wants to be up there because there's good trail access for him to train dogs with. My daughter has a dog yard on the property. We're accustomed to sled dogs being there. Not like he's going to damage the cabin any. And I know the guy, actually he wants to buy the property. He has to sell his place. So while he's figured he would rent my place for the winter while he has his place for sale. His place is in closer to Wasilla, out on Nick Goose Bay Road in that area. And so he's going to try to sell his place and buy mine. But in the meantime, this winter he wants to rent it. And you know, really the cash flow coming in would be nice. It'd be nice having a little bit of extra spending money coming in every month. So that might be something to really look at. And again, guys, I'm sorry about not reading the chat. I am driving. So I am now 17 miles north of Savannah. But I'm going to go right on through Savannah. I'm just going to make a beeline down to St. Augustine. I just did not find any boat. There was one boat here actually that I kind of thought about, but after reading it and looking at the photos and stuff of it and seeing all the damage, the guy that owned the boat is selling it. He's buying a bigger boat, and he stripped the boat. I mean, it doesn't have a stove in it anymore. It doesn't have a generator. It doesn't have a water maker. It doesn't have a hot water heater. He took some of the sails off of it. It's like the guy's selling this boat and buying another boat, so he stripped everything off of this boat and put it on the other one. So there was a long list of items that need to be replaced on this boat for anybody who bought it. And he wanted, you know, a price that was equivalent to what everybody else is asking for boats that are fully equipped and set up. So I don't know what the deal is, except he's the only guy that's got a sugar scoop butted boat in the Georgia area, I guess. So I guess he just feels like he deserves to get premium money for his boat. But you know, I can drive on down to Florida. That's all right. I'm heading that way anyway. So in order to head over to the Bahamas, I'm going to try to get down to like Marathon, Florida, and then try to cross the Gulf Stream. That way I'm not fighting the Gulf Stream. And I'd really rather not sail down from up here, because of course, you know, as long as you're in the intercoastal, you're okay. But as soon as you move outside, you're bashing against the jet stream, you know, the Gulf Stream that's heading north. So in fact, if you want to go to the Bahamas from areas like Georgia here, what you do is you shoot straight out offshore about 100 miles or so, and then make a 90-degree turn and go straight south. You don't try to go from here straight to the Bahamas. You'll be beating yourself up in that 3 to 4 knot current of the current coming up through there. So the Gulf Stream. As a sailor, you got to be aware of your Gulf Streams, the tides, obviously, but you know, the currents that travel around the world, because there's some places you can get in a lot of trouble if you try fighting against them. And some of them can be pretty nasty. You know, like the SV Delos was recently down off of the South Africa. And between South Africa and Madagascar, there's a real nasty current that rips through there. So if you try to sail the wrong direction against that current, as they found out, it really beats you up pretty good. So, well, the same thing goes along the coast of east coast of Florida. There's the jet stream that runs north up along the whole east coast of the United States. It's really narrowed there by Florida, kind of tucked in between Florida and the Bahamas, which is only about, you know, 50, 60 miles wide. So it gets ripping through there pretty good. It gets ripping through there at, you know, 3, 4 knots, and so you don't want to try to fight that. Grandpa, make sure you get west. Okay, I couldn't read all that, Keith. I tried. Jacksonville, 146 miles. Just a nice drive this morning. Beautiful sunny day, 74 degrees outside, absolutely friggin' awesome. Hey, Smeggy. Yep, absolutely just beautiful outside. Like, the weather here is just awesome. I'm really enjoying the warmth, you know. At the shop where they were replacing my steering shock this morning, the guy saw my license plate. He goes, Alaska, wow, it must be cold up there. And I was like, yeah, well, when I left Alaska that night, it was -4 and we had 10 inches of snow on the ground. Now I'm down here in Georgia, and it's 75 degrees right at this moment. 75, just hit 75, and beautiful, bright, sunny, clear day. Just absolutely awesome. I am not freezing my butt off. So, other than that, everything's going good, man. I just wanted to jump on and give everybody an update, what my plan is going to be for the day. Heading to St. Augustine, gonna chill and relax, just take a day to breathe. We'll do a live stream from the boat in St. Augustine later on. Show you guys around the marina and some of the boats. Hopefully I'll see something interesting and I'll try to point out to you. But and I understand the guy was telling me there are some boats for sale in the marina where he's at. So we may walk the docks and look at some boats there and discuss those. And I'll try to bring you guys along for all that. Okay, thank you for visiting South Carolina. I'm on the line. Goodbye, South Carolina. I am now in Georgia. Just like that. See, guys, you seen it live. Grandpa leaves South Carolina, enters Georgia. That makes me a, what do they call that? An interstate fugitive. Oh, yes. I am driving over the Savannah River. All right. Anywho, we're having a ball out here, just living life, enjoying the hell out of everything. It's 10:49. I got to think about breakfast. I got my bananas here with me. I'm going to have a banana here in a bit. I think I'll just have a banana for breakfast and wait until later for dinner. Welcome to Georgia. Well, thank you, Georgia. A little sign come up on my computer, on my mapping, saying, welcome to Georgia. State of Georgia Welcome Center. All right. I guess the river must be the dividing line between Carolina and Georgia. So, South Carolina. So there we are. We're now officially in Georgia. All right, guys. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and end this since I'm driving. There's really not much else to talk about. We'll get down to St. Augustine today. Maybe I'll do another live stream today, or if not, certainly tomorrow. And then, of course, I've got my regular live stream scheduled for Sunday. We'll be doing that. Although, that'll be, what, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time here. What used to be 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me in Alaska is now at 7 p.m. here in Florida. So we'll have more for you later, guys. You guys take care and have fun. Be good to each other, and we'll see you later. Bye, Sickle.